Brought to you by the Dark Lord himself, Queasy Ali. Before anyone gets it twisted, fuck the right. Full stop. They've turned lies into a lifestyle and worshipped a con man like he's Moses with a spray tan. What follows isn't opinion, it's receipts, history, and proof that Trump patriotism is a marketing gimmick for the gullible. He's confident, not arrogant. Confidence builds, arrogance burns. He publicly threatened to remove federal judges who blocked his immigration orders, drawing bipartisan criticism for undermining judicial independence, according to Associated Press on January 20, 2025. He speaks honestly. The Washington Post and PolitiFact documented over 30,000 false or misleading statements from Trump in his first term, and the pattern continues. During his UN address, fact-checkers found at least a dozen false economic and foreign policy claims, according to The Guardian. He's patriotic. Patriotism isn't attacking the nation's own institutions. In 2025, the U.S. expanded lethal maritime strikes in the Southern Caribbean and Pacific against vessels the government said were linked to drug traffickers. Multiple independent outlets reported that several of those strikes sank boats and killed dozens of people, including cases where local officials and survivors say victims were fishermen or noncombatants. The strikes prompted international criticism and questions about legal authority and civilian casualties. He's not racist. Well, there has been a rise in white nationalist activity. The Anti-Defamation League and Southern Poverty Law Center both report that white supremacist propaganda incidents increased more than 25% in the first half of 2025 compared with the same period in 2024. Extremist infiltration of Republican youth organizations. In May 2025, The Washington Post and ProPublica confirmed that internal group chats from multiple state-level Young Republicans chapters contained racist and anti-Semitic memes. Several officers resigned after exposure, but no national GOP statement condemned the content. Lack of presidential condemnation. Following those reports, the White House press secretary was asked directly whether the president condemns white nationalist or anti-Semitic language within his party. The spokesperson replied that he doesn't comment on private chatrooms, and the president offered no public denunciation, according to Reuters. Obama built the cages. The holding pens first installed during the 2014 border surge were meant for short-term processing of adults arrested for criminal entry, not for families or children. In contrast, the Trump administration reinstated family detention sites and authorized nighttime immigration raids in multiple U.S. cities, rounding up day laborers and asylum seekers with no criminal record. Black Hawk-type helicopters and unmarked vans were documented operating above Chicago, Dallas, and Los Angeles during coordinated ICE sweeps. Local officials said they were never briefed, and civil rights monitors recorded children separated from parents during those raids, according to Reuters and Chicago Tribune. By September 2025, DHS confirmed that over 18,000 minors had been detained for more than 72 hours, exceeding legal limits, and that several temporary shelters were under federal investigation for abuse and neglect, according to NBC News and HHS Inspector General report. Obama's system wasn't flawless, but the current policy is broader, harsher, and targeted at working families and children, not just people convicted of crimes. Calling that the same thing is a false equivalence. He gave us the best economy. Trump inherited a 10-year expansion from Obama. By 2020, farm bankruptcies hit an 8-year high, the deficit exploded past $3 trillion, and unemployment spiked before COVID shutdowns. Biden's first 2 years created more jobs than Trump's entire term. Under his second term, GDP contracted 0.5% in Q1 2025, and economists warn his tariff plan could cut long-term GDP 6% and wages 5%, about 22,000 lost per middle-income family. Wharton budget model projects his tariffs will cut long-run GDP 6% and wages 5%, according to UPN. Economic approval 35%, disapproval 57%, according to Newsweek. The violence was in Democrat cities. FBI data show violent crime declines: New York -12%, LA -10%, Chicago -9%, Philadelphia -11%. Meanwhile, red state homicide rates remain among the highest in the nation. The 2025 FBI report lists Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama, 3 Republican-governed states, as the top 3 for murders per capita. Despite that, the administration announced federal deployments of National Guard and DHS tactical units only to blue-governed metropolitan areas Seattle, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles to restore order, with no comparable action in high-crime red jurisdictions, according to FBI UCR, Associated Press and Reuters. He fights for our freedoms. Mass arrests of demonstrators. During spring 2025 protests in Washington, D.C. and several state capitals over new immigration and reproductive rights laws, federal authorities used the Insurrection Act to deploy troops and detain more than 2,000 people, including veterans and elderly participants. Civil rights groups filed suits alleging violations of the First and Fourth Amendments, according to Associated Press and ACLU complaint filed May 2, 2025. Excessive force incidents. Independent observers documented agents firing pepper ball rounds and tear gas into peaceful crowds. During protests in Portland, an elderly couple in their 80s was knocked down by federal agents. The woman, 84, suffered a concussion after being hit with a projectile, a shocking image that captured how far the crackdown on demonstrators had gone, and a Catholic priest in Chicago was treated after being struck in the head, according to Reuters and NBC News. In March 2025, the President's Federal Communications Commission Chair Brendan Carr publicly threatened broadcaster consequences if they didn't act after comments by Jimmy Kimmel. The show Jimmy Kimmel Live was pulled off air by ABC and some affiliate stations following those remarks and the pressure. Media law experts from Columbia and UCLA called it a clear attack on protected speech and an attempt to chill political satire, according to Variety and Washington Post. These aren't acts of defending freedom, they're moves to control it. He welcomes immigrants legally. Legal green card approvals fell another 18% in Q1 2025, according to USCIS data July 25. Foreign-born population dropped from 53.3 million to 51.9 million in January to June 2025, first such fall in 50 years, according to CalMatters. Democrats caused the current shutdown. No. The shutdown exists because the current administration and its congressional allies refuse to extend the ACA premium tax credits that keep millions insured. Letting them lapse would spike premiums and push families off coverage. The Democrats' position is literally keep people alive. That isn't obstruction, it's triage. Polling shows a majority of Americans oppose letting the credits expire and blame the president's party for this manufactured crisis. Blaming Democrats for refusing to help people die is peak ignorance. Second-term approval on the economy now sits at 35%, his lowest ever. Polling shows most Americans blame his tariff wars and debt explosion, not Democrats. The verdict: Trump isn't a patriot, he's a brand, grievance as fuel, ignorance as currency. He didn't drain the swamp, he turned it into a theme park. Kwesi Ali, the man, the myth, the legend. The icon aka the Dark Lord. Hashtag Revolution 2025 Hashtag Chaos Rising 2025 Hashtag South Poor Rebellion 2025 Hashtag Truth and Tyrants Hashtag Left Hook Justice Hashtag Reborn in Resistance